Hey everyone, it is Tuesday. You know what that means? That means we bring back my good friend Omar. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, Michael. What's happening?
Not much, man. I know there's a question you and I get all the time, and that is, hey, you guys are landlords. You're one rental at a time, cash flow folks. But either A, I don't have a lot of capital, or B, I'm staring at a huge flip profit. When do you keep? When do you sell? Right? I know we each face this. I mean, this market we're in is unique because it is such a unique market to sell in because of owner occupants just bidding everything up. But when you get a phone call from someone or you're walking a property with another investor and they go, "Hey, what should I do?" And it could be a good rental, maybe it's $500 a month, or it could be a good flip and it's 50 grand profit net. How do you have that conversation, or what questions do you ask to see what the right answer is? Because maybe there isn't a right answer. Maybe it's situational. I don't know.
And I think that's a great question too, Michael. It's situational.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're all in different categories. We all have specific amounts of capital, and most people say, "Oh, you know what? Hey, I want that $500 a month cash flow." Okay, great. But what's it going to take to get to that $500 a month in cash flow?
Mhm.
You got to acquire the property, obviously, which is going to a chunk of money coming out of your pocket, mainly 20% down or 30% down, wherever your credit's at.
Mhm.
Then you got to rehab the property, okay, to make it rentable ready, right? Otherwise, you're not going to get no cash flow. So now call it you're $30,000-$40,000 to buy. Now you're another 30 grand to remodel. Okay. So now you're out $75,000.
Mhm.
Now you're going to go put a renter in it, and it may cash flow you about $400 to $600,
Mhm.
which is pretty ideal for
Yeah.
most in our market. Same with your market,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit more for yours, but $500-$600 a month in positive cash flow. But you have now $75,000 that you don't have in your pocket
Yeah.
anymore. And if that's all the money you had that you had saved, then you're pretty much trading your 75K for $500 a month.
Yeah.
Yes, granted, it's $6,000 a year. You're making less than 10%,
Yeah.
which is really good. Now, by all means, if you don't need the 75K,
Right.
then no problem. You know what? Put it in a property, no problem. It's always going to be there. The equity is secured for the most part. Right now, being that it's an appreciating market and everything's going crazy, I
Yeah.
wouldn't completely want to put all of my money there, because if there's a change, which there will be, come in the coming months, it could be 12, 18 months from now. And if there's a change, your 75K of value or of money that you have in there, now the value of the property just went down.
Right.
And it may go down 20 or 30,000.
Yeah.
Now you're breaking even if you sold at that moment,
Yeah.
as an example. And I'm not saying that it's that way for everybody,
Yeah.
but this is the conversations that we have. And I wanted to, convey this message that sometimes, especially right now in this market, I know, and you can please add on that, Michael,
Mhm.
that I will take the 50K
Yeah.
or 60,000 in profit right now, right?
Yeah.
And say it cost me 30 grand to buy it. And so now I made 90% return on my money in
Mhm.
4 months. Okay. I took my cash to invest. Then I
Yep.
got it all back plus an additional 60 or 50.
Yeah.
Now I got $120,000 that I can play with. Do it one more time.
Yeah.
Now I got $180,000, $150,000. Now you go put 75K in a house, create that $700 a month in positive cash flow, but you have an additional 75K to go flip some more,
Yeah.
or especially right now in this market though,
Yeah. Yeah.
or go buy another property that might cash flow another $500-$600. So now you have $1,200 in positive cash flow. It sounds good. It pays for your mortgage. It pays for your car payment, all that good stuff. So renters now pay for your luxuries.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot in that I totally agree with. The one my normal first response is what was your plan the day you wrote the offer? Right? What did you think this was when you wrote it? Because I see too many people get a deal and then something changes and their eyes almost turn into dollar signs, right? So I always go back and say, what did you think when you wrote the offer, right? Before you owned it, when you called the agent and said, I want to write an offer, what was your plan? I want them to tell me that in detail. And then I ask, what changed? Right. And it's amazing how many people, frightful, don't know what their plan was when they wrote the offer.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's not good. You should have a plan when you write the offer. Two, it's interesting to see how their mindset changes when they have a couple of dollars in front of them. Because 50 grand's a lot, but I've seen people get squirrely over 20 grand. Right? Oh my
Really?
God, I can put 20 grand. Again, you got to remember, I'm playing in a market where the price is 200 grand. So 20 grand's 10%, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's great. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
hey, whatever. But still, that's, I mean, when you do things like that, I mean, it's so easy to have one mistake, just eat that alive. And maybe you don't have that mistake on this one, but if you follow that mindset, it is a problem. And again, it's very easy to make a job. Right, you got to keep feeding the machine and all of that. That's why I liked your idea of, hey, replenish your capital, but at some point peel some off. Right, flip 3, keep 1. Flip 2, keep 1. Whatever that is. I think that is a huge mindset. And then the other thing, I loved how you started. Right, because again, I talk to full-time employees. That's really a big part of my audience. If you're a full-time employee and you have a W-2, it's okay. Just put the money in the property. It'll be there when you need it. You can go refi it or sell it later. You don't have to flip. Flipping is hard. Flipping is more work. There's more error. It's more time. It is profitable, but it is not as easy as they make it look like on TV. So
No, not at all.
I think that is wonderful advice.
And you know what? Like, and I will add to that too, Michael. The flipping's hard. And to go on what you said, it's not easy. There's still deals that I thought I was going to make 20 or 30 grand on,
Mhm.
but I ended up making 9
Yeah.
because of holding costs, 3 escrows falling out. You still have that holding cost. And it's
Yep.
like, are you ready and willing to take that punch when it hits you?
Yeah.
When we do so many deals, it doesn't hurt as much, but it still stings because you're not what you projected. And me going it, you hit it on the nail, is what was your intention when you first made the offer?
Yeah.
And that is so key. And there's been a couple of times that it's changed for myself as well.
Sure.
When I'm looking at $700 to $900 in positive cash flow, I'm like, nah, this is a good one. But then behind it, it's like, hey, there's $70,000 in profit right there, minus 38% in taxes, capital gains. So I'm doing the math, and it's like, all right, well, I can take that 50 right now or 45 and then double down on it. But it's so key because if you're a W-2 employee, your money's going to be sitting there. Don't worry about it. It's way better than putting it in the bank. So if you have it, put it in that property, even at the bare minimum. If you're making 5%, you're making 5 times more than you would in the savings account. So think about that, and you can go touch your asset. You can go see it. You have renters, so you have another, kind of a line of problems potentially, but it goes with the territory.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, folks, what Omar and I are both telling you is you should have a plan as you submit that offer. Keep, flip, whatever. Frankly, if you don't have a plan, maybe don't write the offer, right? Because that's
Good.
yeah, you should have a plan. And then again, we talk to so many different people, right? If you're a full-time employee, buy and hold's awesome. It's the whole story of one rental at a time. But if you're going full-time in the business, if you're a real estate entrepreneur like Omar, and he's the best I know, it's okay to have a plan. Flip 2, keep 1, flip 3, keep 1. As you'll see in episode number 2, we're going to talk about goals and plans, and I guarantee you that's in his plans. But have that plan.
Have that plan, because when you write it out, you'll end up hating it. 2020 is over. You went through your year, what you've accomplished, where you need to be at for next year, where you need to work on.
Yep.
And seeing it all in front of you is awesome. I mean, we were able to do, I think, if it's okay if I share, Michael?
Go for it.
I think 26 investment properties that we purchased. Okay. And we flipped 18 of them. So we've kept 6. So we added 6 more to the portfolio because they made sense. And then one was an additional property that we're able to build on it. So now it doubles, which is awesome. So not every single year I'm going to put 6 away. Some years I put 1 or 2,
Yeah.
and maybe one year I didn't put any because I was developing capital.
Right.
Flipping, it is harder, but you get chunks of money as long as you're using it to pay off other properties that can elevate your cash flow and lower your expenses. Obviously, your 4.5, 5.5, 6.5% loans.
Mm-hmm.
So get rid of those, and now you're just sitting on cash coming in all the time, and you know that. I mean, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of your properties are substantially paid for. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
Very
I just wanted
great.
to share that, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I look forward to episode number 2. Any closing comments on this one before we get to your goals?
Yeah, write down your purpose as to why you made that offer.
There
That
you
is
go.
the best. So thank you, Michael.
You got it.